Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to News Dose, and the rumors continue to be true. Xbox just confirmed an absolutely massive game being Forza Horizon 6. Yes, it is true, but there is a twist to this announcement that I feel paves the way for what Xbox wants to do for their console business and just the idea of exclusivity. Now, obviously, there's been a lot of discussion about their multi-platform strategy, but this could answer a very important question going forward. So make sure to stick around, but first, I do want to thank my supporters on Patreon and on YouTube memberships. Thank you just so much for what you do, and you will receive this video through early access. Let's go and get right into things, though, starting off with a brand new Nintendo game that surprisingly came out of nowhere, being Fire Emblem Shadows. Yeah, there's a new Fire Emblem game that you can play actually as we speak. It got a shadow launch, but before you get too excited, this, however, is a mobile game, and also a new spin to the Fire Emblem series. Now, it does keep the core of what Fire Emblem is. It's still described as a tactics-based game, as you would expect, but it's also an online deduction game. So kind of think Among Us and how that game works, but somehow they applied that element to a tactical Fire Emblem RPG. Now, I have not played this game, but what I can tell you is that I've already heard some not so good things about it. I mean, to be completely fair, it's still early on, and opinions could change here in the coming days. And if anything else, it's free to download. So you're not really risking anything more than your time, so if you do want to try it, it's easily accessible. For me, though, I'll probably just wait for Fortune's Weave. I do really enjoy the Fire Emblem series, but I'm not necessarily too high on this idea per se. I didn't really care for Among Us, so I don't really see why I would care for this either, but hey, you know, each to their own. Now, we also got some new information for Yooka Replaylee on the Switch 2. I mean, I firmly believe the Switch 2 does have the potential to be its lead platform, just given Nintendo's fan base and the games that they tend to like. But, however, if you do have multiple platforms, it's important to understand that the Switch 2 version will be locked to 30 frames per second, or at least when it first launches. Now, there could be an update later on because Playtonic did mention that they're looking into a performance option, but unfortunately, because they haven't had a lot of time with Switch 2 dev kits, they were unable to hit that specific goal for its October launch. And unfortunately, that's been an open complaint early on in the Switch 2 generation. For whatever reason, Nintendo has been very weird about their dev kits, and that has created problems for third-party developers, as we're seeing yet again here with Yooka Replaylee. Now, despite that, though, this is kind of what I'm expecting for the Switch 2 this generation. I mean, maybe Yooka Replaylee will eventually get to 60 FPS at some point, like it is on the Xbox Series and on the PlayStation 5, but when it comes to third-party games, I think 30 FPS is going to happen quite frequently. I mean, at the end of the day, the Switch 2 is a handheld console, and similar to other handhelds, 60 FPS isn't going to be the standard format in a lot of cases. Now, personally, I think that's fine, but it is something that I think fans need to understand now rather than later. Oh, and Konami has had a fun week. Of course, Silent Hill F just launched today. I hope everybody's enjoying that game. But Konami also announced some news for the Metal Gear Solid series. It's been a long time coming, but they officially lifted the lid on the future of the Metal Gear Solid Volume collections. You know, back in 2023, they released Volume 1, which included Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, and some smaller games as well. But obviously, Volume 1 kind of implies that, yes, there might be an eventual Volume 2 as well. Maybe with games like Metal Gear Solid 4, 5, Peace Walker, and Rising, which would make this collection a must-buy day one, especially because Metal Gear Solid 4, to this day, is still locked away on the PlayStation 3. So there's still a lot of people that unfortunately have not played that game, and it's actually my favorite in the entire series. Well, at the bare minimum here, Konami has now 100% confirmed that Volume 2, yes, is indeed in development. They said that it's been in production for quite some time. So hopefully we won't have to wait much longer, but here's the thing, because they had one more thing to say, and this might actually be even more exciting because they mentioned that they want to remake Metal Gear Solid 1. Now, they did admit that that likely will be very difficult, and it likely also won't be a one-to-one remake, But it is something that I think is very interesting and something that I think fans would absolutely love. Either which way, though, the Metal Gear series post Hideo Kojima is still living strong through all of these remasters and remakes. Okay, so let's go and get into the big Xbox news, being the announcement for Forza Horizon 6. Now, if you're a longtime viewer, this announcement shouldn't be all that shocking. I mean, we've been talking about this exact reveal for a little bit over a month now, and yeah, all of the rumors were absolutely true. It is, in fact, set in Japan, and they're describing it as the biggest entry yet. They said that it's the biggest Forza Horizon map yet, and also the most full. Like, obviously, we can't go bigger without filling it with things to do and see, and I think this map that we've created for Japan, or Horizon's version of Japan, is big, but also dense. There's always something around the corner for you to discover and to see. But yeah, it's bigger. I won't put a number on it, but yes, it is bigger. And one of the really interesting things about its location is that it's not just going to be set in a city locale. Japan, as we know, is a very cultured place, and they're going to explore that. They're going to have players explore both styles of Japan. They said that while we're not announcing too much in terms of detail right now, we're excited to show fans the true breadth of beauty, both natural and urban environments that Japan has to offer. We're not necessarily trying to recreate Japan and its environments like for like. Our goal has always been to capture the country's unique cultural essence and present it back in the most Horizon way possible. So you're going to get the neon lights and the city life that a lot of fans want, but they're going to have so much more than just that. It sounds like it's also going to offer back roads, which likely includes things like mountains and cherry blossoms. Like, honestly, I do believe that this could very well be the most atmospheric and most beautiful Forza Horizon game yet. For that matter, this could just apply to the entire racing genre. So I'm actually very excited about Japan being the new location. Oh, and they also confirmed that seasonal changes will return yet again. So it'll be cool to see all of the different seasons in Japan as well. Once again, though, the atmosphere, I think, is going to be surreal in this game. But like I said at the top of the video, this announcement did come with a twist. Now, obviously, Xbox released Forza Horizon 5 for the PlayStation 5 earlier this year, and it's been extremely successful. I mean, it's been doing so well that it was actually the best-selling PS5 game of the year just a few months back. So with that amount of success, yeah, there's been a question about whether or not Forza Horizon 6 will also be on the PlayStation 5. And, well, we got our answer today, and technically, yes, it will be, but not at launch. Instead, they said that it will first launch on Xbox and on PC. So this will be a timed exclusive, though they're currently not saying what its exclusive timeline will actually be. However, the way I kind of view this is that this could be a glimpse into Xbox's multi-platform strategy. They did something very similar with Indiana Jones, which also launched first on Xbox and PC, and then about a half a year later, it launched onto the PlayStation 5. So it does kind of make me wonder if that's their idea going forward. You know, are they going to start positioning some of their games as timed exclusives? I mean, that would still give Xbox consumers a reason to buy into their next console and to subscribe to things like Game Pass. You can always play their games first on an Xbox platform, which, again, also includes the addition of Xbox Game Pass, which is a big benefit in its own. I think my big question with that, though, is that if they are going to do that, at least with some of their games, then how long are they going to keep them exclusive? Will it be 6 months like we saw with Indiana Jones, or could it be even longer than that? Could it be 12 months, 18 months, or maybe even 2 years? They could even do it by a game-by-game basis, which, you know, they kind of love that phrase. So who knows? But they're definitely throwing this strategy into their wheelhouse. Now it's just kind of a matter of how frequent this is going to be and for how long each game will actually be exclusive. Let me know what you think about this, though. Do you like this idea from Xbox? And for you, does it still give you an incentive to buy into the next Xbox console? Now, one last thing before we go, though, because Ghost of Yotei reviews are rolling in now, and it currently has an 87 overall score on Metacritic with a total of 110 reviews. So yeah, I mean, its scores are pretty definitive by this point, and it also falls right in line with Ghost of Tsushima, the director's cut, which also received an 87 overall score as well. And in fact, it really seems like it's a more refined version than the original Ghost of Tsushima. I have heard people say that it doesn't necessarily revolutionize what came before it, but rather it refines it. Now, personally, I'd actually say that's a good thing. It didn't really need a massive change in the first place because fans already love it for what it was. So it just needed to improve upon the ideas that it already had, and it sounds like that's exactly what they did. Its combat system has been expanded, and the world itself is absolutely gorgeous, just like the first game was. I mean, if you go back and look at Ghost of Tsushima, it is still, to this day, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful games that's ever been crafted. It's really amazing to see what Sucker Punch pulled off with that game on the PlayStation 4, and it sounds like fans of the series is going to be very happy with Ghost of Yotei as well. I mean, to be completely fair, we still need to see what fans think about it because, opinions do vary sometimes between critics and fans, but at least according to critics, the wait has been well worth it. Anyways, though, that's going to be it for this episode, but until next time, make sure to subscribe, ring that bell, and peace out.